Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome back to Red Dragon Inn Adventure Is Nigh, video part 2. So this goes over the original character designs, or the Red Dragon Inn style artwork. Same exact game, just two different art styles. We are previewing both boxes at the same time, since they're the exact same cards, just again with different artwork. If you missed out on part 1, definitely go back and check that out, because we go over the four main characters. Grinder's Bane, why did I already forget what her name was? Darbarella, Mortimer, and Sigmir. So you go over the main four characters. In part 2 here, we are going to go over the drink deck, the event deck, as well as any pub crawl Adventure Is Nigh club deck. And then we'll also go over some of the more exclusive stuff that was from the collector's edition, which is Moped Grimsby, which is this gentleman here, as well as the prize cards, which would be additional extra stuff. I'm not 100% sure exactly which stuff for sure comes in the regular and which one is the collector's, because they didn't really explain it very well. But we'll go over all that second. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into, we're going to look at our drink deck first, because I know for sure we'll do that, the nightclub, and then the event deck. We'll look at Moped last, just because he's not always available. Here's our drink deck dividers. Again, I love the difference in artwork. So on the back sides, they'll list all the different drinks in there, which is a really nice thing in case they ever get like mixed up or lost in anything else. You always have a good list of what goes where. Although if you have the one art style, it should be very easy to tell where it belongs. So here's the back of our drink cards. And we'll flip them over and look at what we have. I'll zoom in a little bit. So we have the Mega Margarita, which has 3 alcohol content on it. The Mega Margarita with a chaser. So yeah, let's get our chaser drinks in there. This is very interesting because it has the double V, which I believe is still supposed to be Vestiges Best Vintage. A big fancy for this part of town. And then we have Vestiges Best Vintage with a chaser. We have the Murder Dome Punch. And the Murder Dome Punch with a chaser. Corn whiskey. Distilled in corn's ware from eating corn, not from person corn. That's funny. Because there's living people in this world. Corn whiskey with a chaser. The Dragon's Breath Ale. One of the signature cards of the set, which you can now buy that actual cup, which is really cool. Infamous Drink from a Distant Land. Oob Savagon. If Oob is the result of a chaser, discard all other cards of this drink without taking their effect. Yeah, you don't probably want to drink the Oozy guy. Nectar of Plebis. He's wearing a suit. If Nectar of Plebis is not the result of a drink event or chase, you may split it with another player. Nectar of Plebis cannot be affected by any other card that splits a drink. Let me get some of the more regular ones we have. We have the Light Ale. Less spilling. Light Ale with a chaser. Musk de Musk. You accidentally drink from the wrong bottle. Ew. It's basically saying you just drink this guy's perfume or cologne. We have Ghoul Booster Ecto Chiller. Draw 1 card from their character deck. The Dark Ale tastes great. Dark Ale with a chaser. Champagne Ofric, perfectly cave aged. Pay 1 gold to the inn. Bendori's Big Ass Ale. Draw 2 cards from your character deck. Captain Domino, the most audacious drink on the menu. The Pucker Up. discard a card from your hand. The Pucker Up with a Chaser. Then we have some drink events. We have Buka's Challenge. You have 2 drinks with the possible chasers from the drink deck. If you reveal a drink event as one of the drinks, discard and reveal again. You drink the drink with the higher alcohol content. Each other player drinks a copy of the other drink. If the drinks have the same alcohol content, you choose which one to drink. We have Huey's Flop. Each player uses 1 Fortitude, discards the top card of the drink me pile. We have the Protein Shake. Centaur Tested, Himbo Approved. Susan's Black Eye. Put this card in front of you. While there counts as an anytime card with the effect pick another player, they lose 1 Fortitude. Just some water, in case you need some more. Straight from the Horse's Trough. Some coffee. Loses some alcohol content. Another drink event. Round down the house. Reveal a drink with a possible chaser from the drink effect. If you reveal a drink event before revealing a drink, discard reveal again. Each player includes you drinks with a copy of the revealed drink. And then the last one is the drinking contest. Each player reveals a drink from the drink deck and drinks. The player reveals the content, the highest alcohol content. Even if they avoided the effect, wins 1 gold from each other player. There's a tie, the player revealed the tied drinks again until there's a winner. The effects of the drink event cards are ignored and they count as 0 alcohol content. These are ones that are the last 2 are basically in every set now. Those are our drinks. Alright. Then up next, we have the Adventure Is Nigh Club. So this is part of the Pub Crawl set. It's the Pub Crawl. I don't know if it mentions it in here. I might just check the rules, see if they have a lot of mentions in here. Optional game variants, character rules. They might not even really mention it too much in here. Nope, it doesn't have any actual reference to how to use this, as the Pub Crawl variant requires the Red Dragon in 8 set to use. So if you only buy this just to play as the Adventures Is Nigh set, you won't be able to really use this. You could potentially take the 6 cards and mix them into your other drink deck if you want. They're going to have different backs though. But the basic idea of the Pub Crawl, as they've had several other sets that have added these, is they let you go to different bars around the town or the countryside or wherever, and they're gonna have special events to do, but basically you have a little tiny deck, and once you get to that tiny deck, then you go to the next one. So instead of playing the one big giant deck with all of these, you're playing with a bunch of smaller decks. They're all gonna have a lot more varying effects. So yeah, we're gonna have the cards for them. So on the back there's kind of a list here. It's gonna show these adventures. This is going to show the original ones, just because that way it can be shuffled in with the rest, so you don't know which deck is which. But we have the Adventure Is Nigh Club grand opening, apparently with like a sentient door. So tavern event. Each player may pay 1 gold, then each player who does gains 1 fortitude. And we'll have the same thing on this one. Just a different picture. Alright, so what are these cards going to bring us? Some brand new drinks to play with. We're going to have, specifically, Buka's Perfect Beverage. Draw 3 cards from your character deck. A tribute to Wild Mages. The Nude Wizard. The Nude Wizard with a Chaser. The Dumpster Diver. Reveal a gambling or cheating card from your hand, and for your discard pile, and put it into your hand. An acquired taste. the Vestige compilation. When you reveal the strength, you may reveal up to one action card, up to one sometimes card, and up to one anytime card from your hand. This vehicle content is drank by each one revealed. And then the last one is the Inky Nightcap. If the Inky Nightcap is a result of a chaser plus one stag, it'll make you even more memorable one way or the other. So I think I don't remember the exact rules of the pub crawl off the top of my head, but I believe you're still using some of the regular drink deck as well, but you have option of using some of these. Otherwise you wouldn't probably get enough stuff. But we do have the deck dividers for those as well. And on the back side, they will show the 6 different cards you get. So yeah, those are pretty cool. It's a nice little extra variant. They've added they've added them in a bunch of different sets over the time. I think the original set 8 has 5 different pubs you can go to. This added one. I believe one of the previous Versus expansions added one. There's one tied into the expansion for Battle of Greyport. So they've added like 3 or 4 more extra ones over the course of a couple of years. So it's a neat way to like add some extra additional stuff to the game. Alright, so then the next thing we have to look at is General Mayhem. So this is an event. So events play a little bit differently. It's kind of a fun little mechanic you can add into the game. If you want a little extra stuff. So I'm going to just kind of go through the rules over this a little bit. The GM deck is an optional play variant for your game. Within a variant of the illustration, Game Master Jack has come new ways to mess with his players and inject General Mayhem into the games. At the start of your game, decide whether you want to play with the GM event deck. You may use a GM event deck with any combination of Red Dragon and characters, even ones from others' editions. If you decide to play the event deck, shuffle and place the 2 event progress counters on top of it, leaving the space next to the desk for a discard pile. If you're on a card, shuffle it and draw a new one. At the end of each player's turn, remove a progress counter from each GM event deck. Remove the last progress counter, reveal and discard the top card of the event deck and follow the instructions on the card. After this, place the number of progress counters on the event deck equal to the toggle of the revealed card. So, basically what's going to keep happening is this will have 3 on there. After 3 turns, this will activate. And then you'll have to go ahead and start the next one. Events affect all players. If an event requires a player to make a choice, they choose in turn order, starting the players whose turn is ending unless there's a card otherwise. Remove a progress counter and reveal a GM event if appropriate is the last thing the player does on a turn. So, for example, if this happens after Morgan reveals his consequences for the turn. The player loses the game on the turn or the turn ends prematurely due to be a card like Time Stop, progress counter is still removed. And then there's active events as well. In a new kind of event, active events, 2 events remain until the next event is revealed. So there are cards that let you negate or stop events. This can be, again, drink events or events from things like this. Some other various things, but it's also plays multiple event decks at the same time, such as the Sea deck from Red Dragon 4 or the Dungeon from Red Dragon 6. Shuffle each deck separately and then place 2 progress counters onto 1 event deck, 3 under progress counters onto the next event deck, and 4 under the last one, and so on. Again, each player's turn, remove a progress counter from the first event deck and reveal it even if appropriate. Do the same with each other event deck. This means you could get multiple in the same turn. Cool. Because the other ones may not have their progress counters, but they'll work a little bit differently. So it's a fun way to add stuff. Since these are a little bit bigger, we'll just look at the original artwork cards first. And then we'll flip through the other ones really fast, just to see what the artwork looks like. So we have an inconsequential check. Nothing happens unless you count learning about the difference between eating corn and person corn. So we get 4 copies of that one, just so you have a little basic. We have Hot-Headed Centaurs, GM event. You may discard this gambling or cheating card from each hand. Each player doesn't loses 1 fortitude. The Himbo Olympics. You lose all brain cells by watching. Each player discards a card from their hand. You can't talk your way out of this. Each player loses 1 fortitude. The fortitude can't be reduced, negated, or ignored. Gabriella makes a pound cake, and it wants to pound you. Each player loses an action card that can cause a player to lose fortitude. Each player who doesn't loses 1 fortitude. Accepting a giant package. Each player pays 1 gold to the inn. A visit from the ferryman. In turn order, each player chooses to lose 1, 2, or 3 fortitude, then draws that many cards from their character deck. Oop. It can only hold so many of these because they're different sizes. Less talk, more violence. While this event is active, players may play gambling and cheating cards as of their action cards with the effect pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude. Less violence, more talk. While this event is active, players may play action cards as if they were gambling cards and the effects take control of the round of gambling. The staff is feeling generous. While this event is active, whenever a player orders a drink, they ordered an additional drink. Deus Ex Machina. Each player searches their character deck for a card, puts that card in their hand, and shuffles their character deck. Dwarven Keg Delivery. Shuffle the drink deck and discard into the shuffle the drink discard pile into the drink deck. Treasure, glorious treasure. Each player chooses 1. They draw 2 cards from their character deck, or gain 1 gold from the inn, or gain 1 fortitude. Haste Spores. While this event is active, anytime cards gain the effect, draw 2 cards from your character deck. The Referee. While this event is active, players can't play cheating cards. Group Skill Check. Each player reveals the top card of their character deck. At least half of the revealed cards are action cards. The player draws the revealed cards. Otherwise, cards stay on top of their deck, and each player loses 1 fortitude. And then finally, Visitors from Another Dimension. Each player gets a drink with the effect gain 1 alcohol content as if they revealed it from the drink deck. Yes, these are very fun. They just add extra little elements to the game that are going to pop up and kind of mess with what's going on. I would recommend playing a few games first before you add these, just so you kind of have an idea of how everyone's deck works. But they can definitely spice up the game a little bit, especially if you only, like this deck where you only own the 4 or 5 characters. And you give you something like keep playing them until you buy more characters, give you something more to do. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the other artworks. We have 4 copies of the inconsequential chat says, unless you count learning about the town of Cornswears. It's kind of funny, it changes the name or the effects on there. The Hot-Headed Centaurs. The Himbo Olympics, which I love the fact they added Adonis in there from the regular Red Dragon insect. Can't talk your way out of this. Gabriella makes a pound cake. Accepting a giant package. A visit from the ferryman. And we had less talk, more violence. Less violence, more talk. The staff is feeling generous. Deus Ex Machina. Dwarven Keg Delivery. Treasure, glorious treasure. Haste Spores. The Referee. Group Skill Check. And then finally, Visitors from Another Dimension. Cool. So that's a really neat extra thing they added into the game. Alright, so let's take a look at our final character, which will be Moped Crimsby. So I believe he's not one of the main characters of the show. I have yet to watch it. I need to watch it now that I've got this game. But yeah, it's kind of like a side character. I think just kind of appears up from time to time. So I thought it'd be fun to add him. He does have a crystalline leg. He does not, kind of like Sigmar, he doesn't have any extra special things. So take a look at his boards here. So it's just his regular boards, no special extra decks or anything. Back of his cards. And then, like, part 1, I'm not going to reread all these. We went through these in part 1. But each character has all these cards over and over. So they're the same cards. We have Gambling. I mean, he should have 6 copies of these. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. He'll have his 2 copies of I Raise. 2 copies of Winning Hand. Oh, I'm sorry, he has 3 copies of Winning Hand. Tip the Staff. Bartender, Stop Playing with Drinks. 2 copies of Buka Drinks, Please. And then finally his I Don't Think So, which he has his gold, or his crystalline leg there. Alright, so those are the main ones that everyone has, so we'll kind of just skip by those. We have 2 copies of Gotta Get Up Pretty Early to Get Old Moped. You may play this card immediately after you lose Fortitude from a card played by another player. You may not play this card if you lose Fortitude loss. That player loses 2 Fortitude. 2 copies of I'm Not an Adventurer Like Y'all. Ignore an action sometimes or anytime card that would affect your Fortitude or alcohol content. And I'm Here Too. You may play this card when you must ante gold from the end, gain 2 Fortitude, and order a drink. 2 copies of Look Who Bought a New Shovel. Oops, sorry, Gabriella. Pick another player, they lose 2 Fortitude. Hey, look what was stuck in my foot. You may play this card when you are about to lose gold. Use gold from the inn rather than from your own stash. 2 copies of Are You Trying to Steal My Eggs? Pick another player, they lose 2 Fortitude. 2 copies of This One's for Albert. Ignore a drink. You look like you need this more than I do. Give a drink to another player. Drink your about to drink to another player. Two copies of Drinks Just Don't Affect Me Like They Used To. You may play this card immediately after you gain alcohol content, lose 1 alcohol content. A toast to the Adventure Is Nigh Club. Each player, including you, reveals a drink, possible chases from the drink deck, and drinks it. If a player reveals a drink event before revealing it, discards it and reveals again. Look, over there, it's Albert. Take control round of gambling. Reveal a gambling card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. What's up your sleeve? Take control round of gambling. Pick another player and force them to leave the round of gambling. Got 2 copies of Hippity-Doo. Start a round of gambling, your ante comes from the end. This may not be used to take control round of gambling that is already underway. Come on, let's play. Negate is sometimes a card that would cause a player to avoid anteing or ante as gold from the inn. 2 copies of I'm helping the bartender with some market research. Pick another player, they gain 2 alcohol content. And then his last card is Help, Find Foot Malfunction. Each other player loses 1 Fortitude. Just kind of funny about him, and just in general, is because if you already have the other players, you get the Collector's Edition, is now you have a separate character that doesn't have an extra little deck and extra rules to play as, with extra tokens and stuff. So it's kind of nice to have multiple characters in case, multiple people don't want to play as them. Alright, so then the very last thing we have to look at are prize cards. So let's go ahead and hop into those. So prize cards are usually like kind of like a promo or added in for like additional things. They're in lots of sets, usually like only one or two. But you can eventually, after you buy enough sets of stuff, or go to their Red Dragon website. You can usually buy some promo packs as well. You can get a bunch of really cool stuff. So prize variants sweeten the pot during a round of gambling. To play this variant, add any number of unique prize cards to the inn at the start of the game. Whenever a player starts a round of gambling, that player chooses one of the prize cards in the inn and adds it to the pot. The player who takes the anti-gold wins the prize and follows his instructions at the appropriate time. This will cause the prize to move to the prize bin, holding pile for prizes. If a player starts a round of gambling and there are no prizes in the inn, move all prizes from the bin to the inn, and then player chooses as normal. If the pot goes to the inn, the prize goes to the pot. The prize is not gold, not be stolen with the pot cards by sleight of hand. Check your rulebook for some clarifications. So what it is basically when you're starting a round of gambling, you take one of these cards, and now that's on the table as well, and it's going to have some various ability. Could be something kind of helpful, could be possibly something sort of negative, could be a quick use card, could be an active card, lots of various effects. But then what happens is after someone uses the card, whether it's an instant or whenever they want to play it effect, like as an action card, then it goes to the prize bin, and then it stays out of play until all the cards are done. So if you only have like 2 or 3 cards, they're going to come back into rotation very quick. If you have 15 of them, you're probably not going to play 15 rounds. So you might not see those cards again. But it keeps you from having to maybe draw the same card, getting the same prizes over and over and over. So that's why it's fun to collect more of them. We get 6 of them in this set. Now, the backs of both cards are always going to be the same, which is a really good idea because now you can mix these prize cards in with any of the prize cards from any other set you would own, regardless of which artwork you have. Alright, so here we have the Cactus Maze. Next time you play a card that would cause one or more other player to lose fortitude, add this card to the prize bin. That card's fortitude loss is increased by 1. The card also causes you to lose 1 fortitude. We have a healing potion. When you win this prize, add to the prize bin and gain 2 fortitude. So there we have an example. This one immediately activates, where the other one, you can use it at a certain time. Frog on a Stick. Immediately after the next time you ante, take 1 gold from the pot and add it, discard to the prize bin. Angord RDI Winery Map. When you win this prize, add to the prize bin, look at the top 3 cards of the drink deck. You may put them face down on any player's drink me piles. Trashy Romance Novel. Skip your next action phase, then add this card to the prize bin. 50 Phase of Grey. And then the last one is Mortimer's Stone of Truth. This prize is in the pot. Players can't play the cheating cards. When you win this prize, add it to the prize bin. So while this is out, nobody can play any extra things. Very cool. I did forget to show this off. So we have the General Mayhem. This was the regular, the Tome of Dirty DM Tricks. That's the regular Red Dragon artwork style. Alright, so that's what we have for Adventure Is Nigh. Yeah, so it's really cool to have this in the 2 different artwork styles. I think it's a fun way to do a crossover with another set. I hope they don't do it too terribly often. Because for someone like me, who's a super big collector, I don't want to keep buying multiple sets all the time. If they would have only offered it in this style, I would have still bought it. Because it's more characters I can add. But the fact is they added the regular art style, I was like, oh, I'll keep that because I can just kind of, everyone can use that as well. I kind of don't mind sort of like duplicate alternate characters alright. They did get one of the last sets of a different character as well. But again, having too much of it means it's just extra storage and extra things I have to have for character cards I might not ever use. But yeah, it's definitely be cool to add some more stuff. I wouldn't even mind, I don't know how, I know has like 4 seasons on it. I don't know how long it is. It wouldn't even be kind of neat if they added another set of this. Even if it was um a versus set in this style, if they have like a major villain in the set, because that's one thing that was fun about the having the villain in there. You have another playable character, but then you can also have their extra boss mode cards, so you can have multiple players versus one. And that'd be kind of fun if they added another character in here, like, hey, we have a 5th regular character, plus you have a villain. You could, or even add 2 villains in there, and they could either fight against each other, or you could play against us. It'd be kind of a fun extra expansion to do with something like that. Alright, that's what we have for this. Check out all the other Red Dragon stuff. See you guys later. Bye.